We are an actuarial department within an insurance company and have to perform various claims analysis tasks, including risk modeling and loss forecasting. Up until now, actuaries were mostly using Excel to manually compare previous and current claims, identify new claims, calculate models, and link various spreadsheets. This is cumbersome, time-consuming, and prone to error. It's also fragile and hard to maintain the logic. Sharing best practice rules between colleagues can be a nightmare. For an insurance company, it's somewhat ironic to take these risks using Excel while trying to estimate and insure risks. Using Trifacta, our insurance company is now able to achieve its claims analysis in less time and with enhanced validation, thus improving our services to current and future customers. In this demo, we will show how we can join claims data to do calculations over different lines of business, use development triangles to forecast claims over years, and report on different dimensions for claims analysis. We will also provide exception reports. The use case applies to reinsurance, but if you're an actuary, a broker, an underwriter, or a quant, this will be straightforward, as you are likely hitting the same pains. We will be dealing with 3 data sets: claims data containing professional indemnity claims for the current quarter and one for the previous quarter, and a dataset containing development triangles for professional indemnity. As we open Trifacta, you will first see the flow view. A flow contains information on the datasets that you are working with and allows you to manage the datasets that you use to generate output. We can see the source of the data, the recipe that has been applied, the interactions with other datasets, and a preview of the resulting wrangled dataset. We can generate our output from this screen by selecting Run Job, or jump into the Transformer page to edit our recipe and apply further transformations to our dataset. We'll select Edit Recipe, and first we'll highlight some of the key features of Trifacta. First and foremost, everything you see in this page allows for human-computer interaction. You can drag over values in the Transformer grid. There are data quality bars showing mismatched and missing data, histograms showing the column distributions that we can click on or drag across, and column menus for quick point-and-click transformations. A recipe panel on the right allows us to modify steps that we have created and add more. You will see many of these features highlighted as we progress in this demo. The first step will be some quick data discovery. You can see in the effective date time column that we have some red in our data quality bar, indicating an invalid value. If we click on this value and filter down, you'll notice this row is not in the correct date time format, so we'll go ahead and delete that row for now. We have a claims dataset, and we can observe claims amounts, but we can also see the other attributes about this specific claim. If we look at the state code column, you can see from the histogram that these claims are mostly in a particular region, and if we drill into the column details, we'll get even more visual feedback about the values in this column. Next, if we jump into the column details for the total incurred amount column, you can see we might have some outliers that need special attention. The total recovery amount column seems to have some mismatches. Trifacta inferred an integer type when it should have been a decimal type, so we'll go ahead and change that. We can drill into the body part column, which seems to show that the lower back is the most common claim. Interactive exploration gives the user insight and data signals in real time as the data is transformed, guiding the user to find anomalies and gain trust in the data. We need to compute the delta, or percentage change, between current claims and last year's claims. To do this, we need to bring in last year's claims and join them with our current dataset. We'll find the Join transform, select last year's claims data, and select the Join keys. We want this to be joined on Claim ID, which you'll see Trifacta has inferred. We want to select all columns. All the new columns will then be brought automatically with the same name, but adding an _1 afterwards. If we select the right outer join, we could capture the prior claims that have been closed, not existing in the new ones. Or a left outer join will show the current claims that are new and didn't exist in the previous year. But for now, we'll select a standard inner join. With Excel, that would be a nightmare of conditional VLOOKUPs. Claim exceptions can be done with a few clicks in Trifacta. By automatically inferring which columns to join on, Trifacta has made the experience easier and quicker for the user. Now that we have both data sets joined, we can start to do some calculations. We have 3 lines of business: medical, indemnity, and ALC. Let's start with medical claims and calculate outstanding figures. First, we need to calculate the delta for paid claims. It's easy to rename fields at the same time. Then, we can get the outstanding number by subtracting the paid from the incurred amounts. We will apply the same calculations to the other lines of business in the background to save time. I'll go ahead and open the recipe panel. And you can see that we can modify or delete previous steps and insert steps anywhere in our recipe. We can also copy the step that we just made and paste it into Builder and modify it accordingly. By taking advantage of all the steps that have been recorded, it is very quick and easy to reproduce calculations across several business lines. It's also easy to change as the rules or the calculations can evolve. We have outstanding claims by line of business, and now we want to see how some claims will develop over time. For that, we're going to use some development triangles that we have for medical claims. The development triangles we have are showing development period in months across the columns and accident year down in the rows. In this particular triangle, we have a 19-year projection. We want to focus on a 5-year development starting from the accident year. So I'll drop the column 72 to the column 240, as those are the columns that represent more than 5 years. I could go ahead and click on each of the column headers that I want to drop, but that might be a little cumbersome. Instead, I'll go to the columns view and click 72, and then I'll go ahead and shift click down to 240. I'll go to the actions and I'll select drop. We want to calculate a development factor with a ratio of the 5th year versus the previous years. I need to pivot the columns from the 4 previous years into rows so that we can then calculate the development factors. Selecting the columns 12 to 48, the first 4 years, Trifacta suggests on the rightmost suggestion to convert the 4 columns into rows. Pivoting operations are very easy to do in Trifacta. Traditional ways of doing this are in Excel or Access, with hundreds of lines of VBA to automate the process. With Trifacta, it takes just a couple of clicks. Now that we have the payments pivoted, it is very simple to calculate the development factors by calculating a ratio. I'll choose Derive in the Transformation Builder and start to type out the formula to divide column 60 by the value column. I'll go ahead and call this column Dev Factor. Now that we have development factors, we can bring them into our current claims data to use and extrapolate the development of our claims for 5 years. Trifacta allows you to continue preparing the data and provides a flow view that demonstrates the transformations and the relationships between data sets that are created along the way, so that you can keep track of each operation that leads to your resulting output. The last step is to run the job at scale so that we can validate our results and automate a publishing destination. This will allow us to access this data in a reporting tool to provide the regulatory report. I'll click Run Job, which I can access in the Flow View or the Transformer page. And I'll make sure the Profile Results option is checked so that I can validate the data. That concludes this insurance claims demo. Thanks for watching.